Welcome to Wellywood Wargaming, where the grim dark never sleeps. Crack open a bottle of wild snake and spark up a low stick as we take a journey down under Hive.
Howdy Hive Scum and welcome back. We are on the home stretch. We have the last 3 alliances now to get through, and the first one that I'm going to be talking about here today is of course the Psy Syndica. This is the last of the criminal alliances, by the way, in the series that I've done here. Maybe there'll be more in the future. This one does actually have a model, so this is one of half, I reckon, that's actually got a model, and it's pretty cool. So let's talk about that first actually. Now you can get this from Forge World. It is a Mind Locked Wyrd. This is a weird thing actually, because see what I did there? This one comes with a bunch of other stuff which is related to House Delac. Of course, this is a House Delac Strong Alliance, but we'll talk about that in a second. The Mind Locked Wyrd, though, the actual model is pretty nice. It does remind me of some of the old N95 Wyrds, actually. Maybe the Pyromantic Wyrd or whatever it was. Looks a bit like that, but she is going crazy, screaming with wild hair and a shock stave in the arm there. It's a really nice model. I haven't got this one, so I'd like to see it up close and get it painted up perhaps, but the interesting thing here is this does actually come with three Delac Cephalopod Spectres. So these aren't the best pet in the game, I'll be honest. They are really cute looking though. They look like mini Matrix Sentinels, and they're really nice models actually. Some nice models that you could even proxy as something else, perhaps some Medi Skulls or something like that as well. Some Servo Skulls perhaps, or just sort of like random NPCs in your games as well. They're really nice models though, but if you want to know where to get the Cephalopod Spectres, it's in this pack with the Mind Locked Wyrd, so there you go. Now you can find the rules for the Mind Locked Wyrd, or the Psy Syndica as this alliance is known, in the House of Shadows book, which is of course the Delac book on page 83. Now let's get into the benefits and drawbacks for this alliance. Now we've had a look at the model. The first benefit is that these guys are a criminal alliance, so they can only ally with criminal gangs. They cannot be allied with non-criminal gangs, or should I say lawful gangs at all. It's not really a benefit, that, to be honest. It's a drawback if you aren't a criminal gang. However, the strong alliance here is House Delac as well. So like any of these alliances, the strong alliance here is in the shape of House Delac. So the first time you test the alliance, you basically get away scot-free. You don't have to worry about it too much. The second time you test the alliance, as normal. The next benefit is really, really awesome. We have Psychic Awakening. So when the gang allies with the Psy Syndica, they may generate a random weird power from either the Madness, Delusion, or Darkness powers for one of their fighters. Now remember, you don't have to be a House Delac gang to have this alliance, so you get to add one of the Delac specific weird powers to, I don't know, a Goliath or an Escher or a Vansar or something cool like that. The fighter permanently gains the use of this power, as well as the non-sanctioned Psyker rule. If the gang breaks the alliance with the Psy Syndica for any reason, they must pay the fighter's value in credits to their former allies or remove the fighter from the gang roster. So you permanently get the weird power, which is pretty cool. However, you know, random does mean that you might not get a great one. I just think it's really fluffy and fun, and you get to keep it if you pay the cost at the end, pay the cost to be the boss. So it's an interesting one, and I really do like the fluff and sort of narrative theme and idea of this. Basically, you form this alliance with the Psy Syndica, and one of your guys gets sort of infected with the weirdness. Of course, the next benefit is that you get to use the Mind Locked Wyrd, the model that we already had a look at. In the pre-battle sequence, the gang may add this Mind Locked Wyrd to your crew, and they are extra on top of your crew, so you get an extra fighter. Pretty cool. However, if the gang is playing the Ghast Harvest scenario, then the Mind Locked Wyrd must be included because they are Ghast addicts, obviously. Now for the drawbacks, of course. Like any of these alliances, we have benefits and drawbacks. The first drawback here is Dark Dreams. Sounds pretty ominous. During the pre-battle sequence, before the choose crew step, randomly select one of the gang's fighters who is not in recovery. The selected fighter must immediately make a willpower check. If they fail, they cannot be chosen to be part of the gang's crew for this battle. Alternatively, the gang can choose to test the alliance instead. So it's interesting. It's pretty hard though. It's pretty harsh, should I say, on a gang that has low willpower, say Corpse Grinders or Ogrins or Goliath perhaps as well. But if you're playing a gang like Delac, which you should be strongly allied to anyway, chances are you've got a pretty good willpower stat anyway. So it really does depend on the sort of stats of the fighter that's randomly selected as well. And if you pass it, absolutely fine. If you fail it though, you're going to be missing the game. It's not the harshest drawback, to be fair. The next drawback attack is Psychonarium Attention. I think I said that right. During the post-battle sequence, if the gang used any psychic powers during the battle, which you will do if you're attaching the Mind Locked Wyrd to your crew, there is a chance they might have drawn unwanted attention from the Imperial House's own tame psychers. Tame psychers. It sounds like they are complete wild things. Roll a d6, adding 1 for each fighter with the non-sanctioned psyker. Reminder, you have an extra non-sanctioned psyker by getting that extra weird power there, so you'd already have 2 by default. If the result is 7+, randomly choose one of the gang's fighters and make a roll for them on the lasting injury table. The gang can choose not to make this roll in exchange for testing the alliance. So again, the drawbacks aren't too bad really. But you're definitely going to be using psychic powers if you're going to go down this route, because the Mind Locked Wyrd is as psyker. Now for the Mind Locked Wyrd in question. The stats are as follows. We have a movement 4, so a little on the slow side. Weapon skill 5+, which is frankly terrible. We have a ballistic skill of 3+, though, which is decent. Strength toughness 3, 2 wounds, initiative 4+, and only 1 attack. In terms of mental stats, we had a leadership of 8+, a cool of 6+, a willpower of 4+, which is whoppingly good for a Wyrd, and intelligence 9+. So strange there that we've got such high willpower but such low intelligence of 9+ there, but this is a rogue sort of weird psyker that's a little bit wild around the edges. We've got the fearsome skill, which is decent, you know, stops people charging you as much and fighting you and stuff, and mesh armor, and also the non-sanctioned psyker rule too. Non-sanctioned psyker means that if your opponent takes this character out, they get D3 times 10 credits in the post-battle sequence for their efforts. Now in terms of the other special rules with the Mind Locked Wyrd, they are a little bit outdated, I think, because I think this one was created before the Book of the Outcast came out with the full list of psychic powers. Personally, if I was an arbitrator, I would probably let someone choose maybe 3 of these weird powers from maybe one of the actual weird power skill trees. In this case though, rules as written, we get to choose 3 powers from the following list. So we've got Scouring, which is a basic pyromancy one. It's basically a strength 2 hand flamer that you can sort of spurt out of yourself. It's okay, it's decent. We've then got Telepathy, Maddening Visions, which is a basic as well. And how does this one work? You've got Nightmarish Apparitions as the weird becomes a conduit for unfettered warp energy. Until the end phase of this round, make a willpower check for any enemy fighter that ends their turn within 3 inches of this weird. If the check is failed, the fighter is driven temporarily insane and gets the insane condition. 3 inches though, it's not great. We've got Telekinesis, Assail. This one is basically a shooting attack. You get to sort of force push someone away, and it's actually okay in this case because this psyker happens to have ballistic skill 3+, which is better than average. So not too bad there for that one. We've got Force Blast as well. Any enemy fighters within 3 inches of this fighter, again very close range, you get to push them back D3 plus 1 inches. It's okay, but it's very situational. We've got Hypnosis, which is a telepathy power here as well. Little more than a piercing stare, the psychic can dominate the minds of the weaker willed. Select an enemy fighter that has not yet activated this round within 9 inches and line of sight of the weird. If the willpower check to perform the action is successful, the fighter may only perform a single simple move action this round. That one's pretty okay, but you're using an action by your weird to maybe force someone to only move. So it really isn't that exciting. The last one that you get to choose from is Unbreakable Will. This is a basic continuous effect. It is a telepathy power as well. The psychic exerts their mind to control nearby allies. Whenever a nerve or willpower test is made for another fighter from the gang who is within 9 inches of this psyker, use this psyker's characteristic value. So there you go. You've got 6 weird powers to choose from, and you get 3 of them. Now, I'd personally take Scouring. I think Scouring's probably it's still not great, but I probably would take Scouring just because of the Blaze template. Yes, it's only strength 2, but it's still Blaze. And then, honestly, like Assail maybe, but I'm not sure about the third. Let me know what you think about these weird powers, and as an arbitrator, would you tie it to maybe a set skill set, like, just telepathy, just telekinesis, and then pick 3 from there? Personally, I would, because again, I think this is outdated at this point. What's interesting as well is there is kind of a weapon modelled in the left hand of this fighter as well that looks like a shock stave, but it is just a magic wand. It's like Harry Potter's wand. It doesn't actually do anything and doesn't exist on the fighter card either. Another thing to consider is, of course, you can use this character as your leader in an outcast gang. However, I would say that there are many much better choices for a Wyrd for your gang. I mean, just the preset Outcast Leader is much better. You can get one with really high willpower and better stats everywhere else. Give them better equipment, and you've got a better Psychic as well. Granted, you only have 1 power instead of 3, but, you know, it's still better generally. And there are other Psychic special characters that you can use too. I think the model is really cool though overall, and it's a nice one to add to your collection, even if you use it as something else, as proxy for something, or just a generic sort of Wyrd as well. It's good to have one of those from Forge World if you wish as well. Anyway, that's all I'm going to talk about with the Psy Syndica today. I hope you enjoyed this one. Again, let me know in the comments if you've used the Mind Locked Wyrd. I'd really like to know how it goes and whether you've changed the rules around which Wyrd powers you can use as well. Let me know. Anyway, I'll be back with another video real soon. Peace out.